Hi there guys, welcome to the first in a series of short videos where I talk about some of my past display painting that I've done. So the first miniature I've picked to talk about is the one you see on screen now. So this is a Blood Angels Captain. I painted this about 2 years ago as a gift for my older brother for his 40th birthday. He collects Blood Angels, he loves Blood Angels, and so I thought it'd be really nice to paint him a gift. I've never painted a miniature for him before, so I thought a Blood Angel would be great. So another thing with this is I actually sculpted this miniature as well. So not only did he get a painted miniature, it was one that I sculpted. So it was quite a personal gift for him for his birthday, and I wanted to go a little bit retro with the colour scheme, and I was trying to think of a colour scheme quite early on. And what struck me was the pose, unintentionally, was very similar to the cover of the second edition Warhammer 40,000 box art that John Blanche painted. So I thought what I could do is basically put that colour scheme from the Space Marine Captain on that artwork onto this miniature and see if it works really. I've not done that before. So this is the artwork that I took the colour scheme from. And as you can see in the artwork there, the pose is very similar. The power fist is up in the air in the artwork, but that didn't really bother me too much. It was more about placing those the icons and the freehand work that's on that captain there onto the miniature, and I thought that would be a fun exercise. So yeah, and just really go vibrant with the colour scheme and really try and copy what John had done there in the artwork, and I thought it would be a nice thing to do. So we can talk a little bit more about the miniature now and how I approach different parts of the miniature. So looking at the Space Marine front on, the first thing I did was my planning stage when painting this miniature. So what I wanted to do was balance the colours around the model, as well as just add colour to it. So it was, I think, a thing to point out is the pale blue on the plasma coils on the plasma pistol. That goes over, there's a blue there on the shield, on the heraldry on the shield, and then the blue down onto the gem on his belt buckle. So it's just about colour balance and things. So there was a lot of that sort of planning going on to begin with. One of the other things which I tried to get on there as well was some of the green colour to contrast with the red. And you can see that there on the loincloth tassels. I kept the green areas quite muted. I didn't want them to overpower or clash with the red too much. The only other area that I got the green on was some of the pipes. So it's just like a background colour really. It's not jumping out too far. The yellow is obviously very vibrant, and that goes all around the model. So it's on the gun, it's above him on the icon on the backpack, and it's on the fist and on the shoulder pad and the knee pad as well. So it's in harmony around the miniature, and that works really well. And it's on the chest as well with the chest eagle. The other colour that I knew would feature onto the model is the white. He's got white hair, so I knew that had to be placed on there, and I also wanted to get the white in other areas of the model as well. So that clean white, that was applied onto the ropes across the chest, and the artwork, Space Marine Captain doesn't actually have a cloak, so I had a look at the background of the model, and there's white smoke behind the miniature, so I thought that white cloak would be a nice backdrop for all of those colours and actually keep it in keep it in harmony with the artwork as well, so it wouldn't clash too much with what we were doing. So it was either going to be a cream white or a clean white, so I went with the blue white, just so it wouldn't clash and it wouldn't jar with the yellows too much. So that's the way I went with that. So looking at the back of the model now, you can see a little bit more of the work that I've done. So the back of the cloak I just kept quite simple. I kept it plain black. There's so much going on the model anyway. I didn't want to go too far overboard with it. You can also see that I kept the colour balance around the back of the model as well. So the central disc on the backpack has got the red armour colour on there, and then obviously with the Blood Angel symbol on there as well, which is quite nice to add on. And you can also see the texture that I added to the cloak at the back slightly there. We'll have a look at that a little bit more in a minute. You can also see a small amount of the heraldry that I had to paint onto the right shoulder pad. So the miniature has a sculpted shoulder pad, but I swapped it out for a plain one so that I could paint on the heraldry, which featured in the artwork as well. And the Purity seal there as well has got a little bit of detail added on there, which isn't in the artwork. Obviously you can't see it. Okay, so now looking at some detail work now. So you can see that the black that was painted on the model is quite reflective and quite shiny, so that's just the same as in the artwork there. You can see some of the white stippling that I added to the cloak as well, just to give it a little bit of texture and difference to the armour panel, so that there's an obvious surface difference there. The scroll there has got Angelus written on it, so I thought, I just had a look at some Latin names that would go well with the Blood Angels background, so we just had a look at that. And then you can also see the flame work as well on the leg, which was probably one of the most fun parts of doing the model. That's the bit I was really looking forward to doing. Now looking at the left side of the model a little bit closer, you can see the shield that I did. I picked a personal heraldry for this. I thought it would be quite nice just to mark him out as a character. So I wanted to go with the blue and white checker pattern because it features in a lot of the old school Blood Angel art, even on some of the other Blood Angel art from the original box set that John had also painted. So I thought it'd be nice to pull that in as well, just to get that colour in there. And then also the freehand chapter symbol, which is a slightly stylized version of the Blood Angel symbol, but that was on the artwork as well, so I thought that'd be really nice to get on. And also some more of that flame work, which was on the fist, which I really enjoyed doing that on that area as well. Looking at the left lower leg now, you can see obviously more of that flame work, and then you can see the red armour in a little bit more detail as well, the treatment that was added on there. But the main thing I wanted to show here was that freehand pattern which I did on the white part of the cloak. So I drew that out first a few times to pick something that was unique and hadn't seen before, but fit with the flamboyance that you sometimes see on Blood Angels, especially on the cloaks and some of the tapestries and banners and things. And obviously getting those blood drops in there as well. So that was drew out first and then faintly painted in and then painted over to make it stronger as it went through. So it was a really good bold image. Now looking at the back of the cloak, you can see that texture which I talked about earlier a little bit. So that black, rather than it just being a flat shiny black, I tried to give it a little bit of texture so it was different to the black armoured areas, so that you know, there's a good difference going on there, and that's built up with many layers of stippling. And there's the how to paint textured cloth tutorial in my playlist if you guys want to check that out. And you can see the small amount of work that I did on the purity seal there as well, just to, you know, put the chalice on to make it a personal Blood Angel thing. Now here's a close-up of his plasma pistol. So I put the marking on there that's the same as on the artwork as well, just so it sort of pulled it through. Obviously the artwork's got a bolt gun, but I thought just do the same marking so he's got his plasma pistol, so it looks similar. And then having that the coils, the plasma coils, I wanted just to show those as well, to show that they're glowing from within. I'll do a plasma coils tutorial in the future at some point. I know people keep asking for that. But yeah, I just wanted to show a close-up of this as well, and you can see a little bit more of that red armour as well that I've worked on there. Now we've got a close-up of his face and the top of the model. So yeah, it was really fun just painting this area. I remember sculpting the head, and I used some of the images from the Space Marine computer game to really give me what a Space Marine head I think should look like. So I had fun painting this because it was. I remember having fun sculpting it. So the hair, I added extra texture with you know, with layers of paint, so it felt like it had, you know, it wasn't just flat plastic hair. It was like feathered sort of hair and combed over as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed painting the face. You can see a little bit more of that heraldry as well, which I painted onto the shield there on the chest. You can also see the depth of the yellow as well. It's a good example. This picture, you can see it on the eagle wings on the backpack there. I added quite a lot of warm tones into the yellow there to give it a very rich finish. I think in hindsight now, looking at the miniature and looking at the pictures, I would probably like to have got a lot more warmth into the face, some more glazes and things. I did paint the head separately, and then popped it in at the end, and I thought, you know, now looking at it, I think it could have done with a little bit more treatment. It feels a little bit lifeless in places, but you know, that's why looking back at your old work, you kind of, you know, you pick faults with it. So I think we all do that. And you can see the reflective nature of the black there that I've added around the model on the backpack and the shoulder pad. So there you go. So there's the finished model again. So hopefully you've enjoyed me talking about the piece. I think the base is something that I enjoyed doing as well. I put the actual stone head there underneath the foot. That was one of the Stormcast pieces of scenery, and I've carved it down. And I put him at a slight angle, and then used different small amounts of slate there, and then built those up, glued them down with super glue, and then obviously it was painted with some sand and some other elements as well, just to make him feel like he was in the same setting as on the artwork. So if you look at them together, you can see that they kind of match quite well. Yeah, so hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If it goes down well, I'll do more videos like this talking about my past collection, and I'll see you soon in the next video, guys. Bye.